Thanks so much for being with us here on Atlanta News First Plus. I'm Joy Lim Nakrin. Okay, so let's talk about the top stories that we're following right now. And I think top of mind for most of us, well, it should be, is tax day. Obviously, it's something that so many people do struggle with. I want to show you now some video from a center where many people are actually turning to assistance today. And you may remember seeing some long lines in front of Atlanta's Tax Assistance Center on Saturday as we had camera crews there. Well, they held extended hours for today's deadline, while so many taxpayers were furious after being turned away. Well, things look drastically different today. Atlanta News First, Asia Wilson has a closer look.
The line is around 2 corners, 3 corners. This one, 4 corners. It's 4 corners long.
That was the scene outside the IRS Tax Assistance Center's Extended Hours event in downtown Atlanta on Saturday. Some people waited for hours to get inside. Others say they were turned away.
Yes, I want my money. I work for this money. It's my money and I want it now.
Hopefully it's over soon and everybody get their money because it's time to get paid.
People went to get one-on-one help from IRS representatives, many of them telling us they already filed and only came after being told they needed to verify their identity before their refund could be released. Hakeem White was here on Saturday, but Monday afternoon, he says he only waited 10 minutes.
Great, exceptionally great.
Dayon Murphy had a similar story.
For me, it was very smooth. The line wasn't that long when I heard about the line from this weekend and everything, so I was lucky to get in there now.
While he had an appointment, he says there were no issues while he was in the office.
I was in and out, but just told me just come and verify yourself and get your taxes rolling. Not even 30 minutes from the time I sat down.
Making it a pleasant day for most taxpayers as the clock ticks for the final few hours.
They did a great job.
Thanks so much to Asia Wilson for that report, and glad to see that things are back on track there. Okay, let's talk about now the crisis happening in the Middle East. And you know, really, there's a lot of reaction here in Georgia. So this is now the latest in Iran's large-scale drone and missile attack in Israel over the weekend. This is the video that you're looking at. It has certainly intensified tensions in the Middle East. Israel is vowing to, quote, exact a price from Iran, though its leaders are debating how and when to respond. So here in Georgia, we're now hearing from pro-Israel groups about the crisis. The Consul General to Israel for this region tells us Iran is a threat not just to Israel, but to the entire globe. Rebecca Schramm has more.
The Consul General to Israel for this region tells us Iran is a threat not just to Israel, but to the entire globe. We also spoke with the director of another group that's watching the situation in Israel closely.
This was absolutely a surprise from the scale of the attack.
Dov Wilker is regional director of the American Jewish Committee Atlanta. When he started hearing chatter Saturday about Iran's attack on Israel, he immediately reached out to his Israeli friends and family.
Every single one of them was on edge in a way that they had not been.
He was pleased to hear that 99% of the missiles and drones were intercepted, not just by Israel, but by the United States, United Kingdom, Jordan, and reportedly Saudi Arabia.
What it says to me is that the regional alliance against an aggressive Iran is strong, that the United States stands in defense of one of its most important allies.
Wilker says he's thankful to Iranians in this country who've reached out in the last 2 days.
There are many Iranians in exile here in the United States who do not support the regime. And so for us to know that this is not a war against the Iranian people, this is not a war against the Palestinian people, this is a war that is taking place against a terrorist organization, and that Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, is ensuring that this war will continue. It is upon them. They own the responsibility for ending this war, because they very easily could tell Hamas to release all of the hostages at this moment, and yet they choose not to.
The Atlanta Police Department has issued a public safety alert, not because there's any specific threat. They just want people to be vigilant and report any suspicious activity at any places of worship or other sensitive places. In Midtown, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
And thanks so much to Rebecca for that report. We're going to keep following the latest there. All right, let's talk about Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport, the busiest airport in the world. Well, you can tell from the long arrival and departure lines, it is leading the skies once again. The Airport Council International organization just released their World Airport rankings. And in 2023, Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport welcomed 104.7 million passengers, marking an 11.7% increase from the previous year. This ranking is based on airport traffic data set. So Dubai and Dallas-Fort Worth take the second and third stops. So not necessarily about the quality, but definitely the quantity of travelers, is there. And we are still the world's busiest airport. Okay, let's talk about this house fire that happened in Atlanta. There is an investigation underway right now, and a South Fulton woman is being left with nothing now after a fire ripped through her home earlier this morning. It happened on Campbellton Road. Atlanta News First Don Shipman spent a lot of today outside the home and even talked with the homeowner. Let's listen to his report.
The homeowner tells me that she's not sure if she's going to rebuild. Right now, they're boarding up the house here. There's a lot of damage, not a lot left. Water and fire damage inside. As firefighters work to determine the cause of the fire, the elderly woman who lived in this home is left sifting through what's left of her belongings. An early morning fire gutted her home along Campbellton Road. The homeowner, who didn't want to talk on camera, says that she believes the fire started in her carport and then quickly spread to the rest of the house. The fire was so bad that the carport collapsed. South Fulton firefighters spent hours working to put out the fire. At one point, crews had to use specialized tools to cut through the ceiling of the home in an effort to vent the attic and put out hot spots. This was a big response. Police closed off a busy Campbellton Road between Dove and North Drives while firefighters battled the stubborn fire. And Atlanta Gas Light also on the scene to cut power to the house. The homeowner and her dog managed to escape without getting hurt. Now they're left trying to figure out what to do next. The homeowner tells me that she has insurance. Meanwhile, the Red Cross is here to help out with immediate needs, and a neighbor who lives around the corner also helping out. The cause of the fire still under investigation. In South Fulton, Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.
And we're going to keep following that. Thank you so much to Don for putting together that report. So after that fire, it really hits home what's happening with the Riverdale Fire Department. So a lot of people in Metro Atlanta are pretty stunned after the city council voted to consolidate Riverdale and Clayton County fire departments. This after an overwhelming opposition from the community when this proposal was actually postponed last week. Atlanta News First Asia Wilson has the latest from Riverdale City Hall.
Yeah, originally the meeting was publicized as a town hall where people can come and ask questions and voice their concerns, but the meeting actually concluded with a vote, which was a big shocker for so many people who were originally concerned. Now, the decision for the county takeover was made Saturday afternoon. This all comes just days after City Council postponed their vote on whether or not to replace the fire department after heated opposition from the community. Now, Riverdale Council member Kenny Ruffin says this merger will save the city money while improving response times. He also says the county has 22 firefighters working at all times, which is a big upgrade if something malfunctions on call. But some Riverdale firefighters are fearful they could soon lose their jobs, and many people who live in the city are also upset.
We don't have sufficient fire protection or the budget to sustain it. That's disturbing.
If we don't have the services that are provided for us, then why should we continue to pay the city of Riverdale taxes? Let's just keep it at Clayton County taxes.
Officials say Riverdale firefighters could apply for the Clayton County Fire Department. We're also told that the merger between Riverdale and Clayton County could begin within the next 90 days. In Riverdale, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
And thanks so much to Asia for that report. You can follow the latest on that and all of our top stories on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. You can also get updates sent right to your phone on breaking news, top stories, and weather by downloading our free Atlanta News First mobile news app. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.